Hi, I'm Richard from Drive Green, and today we're going to be taking a look at some super compact EVs. The EVs you're going to want to buy if you like your car to be as small as possible. Today we're going to be driving the Volkswagen E-Up. At the same time we'll be discussing its very closely related brothers, the Seat-Me and the Skoda Citigo. And we're going to be putting them up against the iconic smart Fortwo. We've picked the E-Up and its brothers, as well as the Smart Fortwo, as the cars to look at today because they are the most compact EVs in the marketplace at the moment. There are other compact EVs such as the Fiat 500 and even the Renault Zoe. However, if you like your cars to be as small as possible, then these are the cars you're going to want to look at. Whilst it's the Volkswagen E-Up that we're going to be driving today, the Skoda Citigo and the Seat-Me are built around exactly the same platform and are fundamentally almost identical cars, and as a result, when I'm discussing the E-Up, I'm referring really to all three of them. The party trick of these cars is their size. They're super tiny and compact and make great city runarounds. Some might argue actually they're not very practical because of their size. I would counter-argue that in fact they are extra practical because of their size, if a city urban driving car is what you need. If you need a bigger car for practical purposes, then these are not the cars for you. But if you like your car small, fun and for life around the city, these are the perfect fit. When talking about practicalities, there's still one obvious advantage of the E-Up, the Me and the CityGo over the Smart. And that is despite its compact size, they all have 4 seats instead of 2 like the Smart car. Obviously, if there are going to be occasions where you need more than the 2 seats of the Smart car, the choice between the 2 cars is going to be an easy one. The boot of the E-Up, the CityGo and the Me is much bigger than you expect for such a compact car. It's actually really quite nice and deep. You can also get a rather nice little shelf that goes in the boot, which raises the floor level so it's level with the rear passenger seats when they're folded flat. This actually gives quite a nice, voluminous, practical load space, which is a nice thing to have. The Smart car, of course, has an absolutely tiny boot. However, boot space is never going to be the strong point of the micro car. Now, the first car I'm going to be driving today is this, the Volkswagen E-Up. Obviously, like I said, it's very closely related to its brothers, the Seat-Me and the Skoda Citigo. They all have slightly different faces and very subtly different interiors, but you can easily see from having a look at them that, they're built around the same platform and they're basically almost identical cars. Although the Volkswagen E-Up platform has been around for years as a petrol car, it was in fact originally designed to be an electric car, and as a result, it suits being an EV so well. The electric E-Up was originally launched all the way back in 2013. It was launched back then with a 19 kilowatt-hour battery, giving the car somewhere between, sort of 60 and 80 miles worth of driving range, which at the time was sort of fairly standard. However, its winter range did suffer a little bit because it didn't have a heat pump, unlike its main competitors at the time. So in winter time, its range was actually quite disappointing. It's worth pointing out as well, the newer version also doesn't have a heat pump. However, that is becoming a more regular thing with the more modern EV now their ranges have been improved. Now, the newer model has a 37 kilowatt-hour battery, giving the car a range of, around about 140 to 160 miles, depending on your driving style and, of course, the time of year, which is really, really very good. And it does put it sort of shoulder to shoulder with most of the modern EVs coming out and makes it a very capable, decent long-range driving EV if that's what you want to do with it. And it's a great little car. It's really nice to drive. It's not particularly exciting. It all feels very, very familiar, but it's very, very nice. And whilst its 0 to 60 time is 11.9 seconds, which isn't particularly quick compared to most EVs, it does actually feel nice and zippy, and it still corners and handles very well. If you're looking for a car for urban city driving, this is going to be really nice. The E-Up has a quality build just like you would expect from the Volkswagen Group. When comparing the E-Up to the Me and the Citigo, I would have the E-Up as the most premium of the three. It's very well finished and it's got quite decent spec. You can have a reversing camera, you can have heated seats, it comes with lane assist, heated windscreen, electric wing mirrors and a very decent sort of 6-speaker sound system. Not surprisingly though, of course, the E-Up is the most expensive of the three. Now, the Seat-Me obviously is a very, very similar car. If the E-Up is the most premium of the bunch, I would have the Seat-Me in the middle. It's got quite a nice interior. You could argue it's a little bit more modern, and it also has sort of fairly decent spec. You've got decent alloy wheels, you've got that lane assist, you've got reversing sensors, heated seats. So it's not bad at all. One place where the Seat Me differs from the other two is it lacks any steering wheel controls at all. So there's no controls there to control the stereo. I guess it's not a big deal, but it's something that I do like to see in a car. Now the Skoda CityGo is the cheapest of all three, and it does feel a little bit more stripped back. It's got a lesser spec and, a standard, it has hubcaps, it doesn't even have reversing sensors. However, it's still a nice little car, and you can tell it's built around the same platform, and obviously it's a lot cheaper. One point that's definitely worth noting is the Skoda CityGo doesn't come with CCS rapid charging as standard, unlike the Seat Me and the E-Up, which both do. Now that isn't going to be particularly relevant if you're not going to use your car for any kind of long distance driving, but if you are going to use it for long distance driving, or if you need to use the public charging network a lot, for example because you can't charge at home, then be sure to make sure you get one of the cars with CCS rapid on it. Another thing that the E-Up, the CityGo and the Me all have in common is none of them have an inbuilt infotainment system. What they have instead is this phone cradle here. The idea is you can download a car-specific app, and then you can use your phone like the infotainment system, playing music, and obviously it's the sat-nav. It's not a bad idea, I think. It saves money, but by not having an infotainment system there, and a lot of people would use Google Maps anyway as a sat-nav, so I understand the logic. Although personally I would like to see an inbuilt infotainment system really. So of the three cars, the E-Up, the CityGo and the Me, which one would you choose? There isn't really a great deal of difference between any of them. They're all built around the same platform. So I would say, unless you've got any particular brand loyalty, I would go for the car which has a spec that you like or hits your budgetary price point. Now these cars are widely available in the used market. Price-wise, that could potentially be any of them. But whichever one you choose, if you're after a compact city car, you won't be disappointed. Now the Smart Fortwo is the obvious other compact car choice, and it's very different from the E-Up and its brothers. For starters, it's even smaller. Obviously it's only got the 2 seats, but it's so compact it can even bay park in a parallel parking spot. So if you're looking for an EV that is genuinely as small and as compact as possible, then the Smart Fortwo has the edge. And it really is a quirky looking little car, especially this limited edition Brabus version that I've decided to drive today. I love this car, I think it looks fantastic, and it does sort of show the kind of sense of humour a smart car has about itself. And whilst the E-Up and its brothers are great little compact EVs, there's something somehow special about the Smart Fortwo. It really does just make you smile. And what I know from smart car owners, this is a car that you really do fall in love with. Now the Smart Fortwo is cheaper than the E-Up, the Me and the CityGo, but it actually has a very good spec, including leather seats, pan roof, heated seats and an inbuilt infotainment system. It's also available as a convertible, making it the only soft-top EV on the market. And this car is such fun to drive. I don't know what it is about it, whether it's because it's so ridiculously tiny and you're conscious it's so short and there's nothing behind you. It might not be the fastest EV on the road by any means, but it really can't be beaten in the happy fun stakes. Where the smart car really falls down, unfortunately, is its range. It carries only a little 17.6 kilowatt hour battery, which is exactly the same size it had when it was launched all the way back in 2013. Now this gives the car around about 60 miles worth of driving range, depending on your time of year, which does fall very, very much behind the current competition and far behind the E-Up and its brothers. So what does that actually mean, and why have Smart decided to keep the range of the car so limited? In reality, the Smart Fortwo is no long-distance cruiser, it's a compact city car, and as a result, 60 miles worth of driving range is more than ample for most people's requirements. Because it's got that smaller battery, it makes the car much cheaper, which is the biggest reason why the Smart Fortwo is the cheapest of all the cars we've looked at today. And I would challenge you to have a look at your driving requirements, really, your daily driving lifestyle. because if 60 miles of driving range is all you need, then the smart car is a perfect choice. If, however, you are doing longer drives and you need to use the public charging network, then I'm afraid the edge does, of course, go to the E-Up, the Me, and the CityGo. When it comes to public charging, the Smart Fortwo is available with an upgraded 22 kilowatt charger. If you, for any reason, need to take the car on longer drives, or you need to use the public charging network because you can't charge at home, then the 22 kilowatt hour charging option is the one you want to go for. It's worth however mentioning that the AC rapid chargers that it plugs into are pretty few and far between, so I'd have a good look around in your area and on the journeys you go to make sure there's one available for you. At 22 kilowatts, it means the little smart car can go to sort of pretty much fully charged in about 45 minutes, which is okay, although of course it's still half the rate that the CCS rapid chargers on the other cars can do. So again, as I said before, if you're looking for an EV to do longer drives, or you need to public charge a lot because you can't charge at home, do you know what, the E-Up and the other two are the better fit. So in summary, the E-Up, the CityGo and the Me are great compact little city cars. Very well made, they've got a very, very good range, and they've got the practicality of having 4 seats. So if you can't charge at home, or you're going to be doing longer drives, or you need those 4 seats, then they're the great compact cars to choose. If, however, range isn't important and you don't plan on taking your EV on longer drives, then the little smart car is something special. It really is loads of fun and is guaranteed to put a smile on your face. I hope this video has been useful in helping you learn a little bit more about these compact city cars. If you'd like to find out more or to arrange a test drive in any of them, please do get in touch. Thank you ever so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our other EV review videos, and hopefully we can help you decide what's the right electric car for you.